Hi, I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage, and we're holding our monthly tech meet today, and we will be addressing air conditioning issues, charging, evacuating, recharging, and pressures and all that kind of stuff on a Silver Shadow 2.
So you use those glasses for both types? The R12 and the R134, you use those glasses?
These are to see the dye. So the dye is used in both types.
And the modern cars have
I don't know. I don't have a machine. I don't work on those, but it's similar. I'm sure that they have something similar. These sniffers were really great when you bought a good one and you were looking for leaks and all that. The problem with these is to find a high pressure leak, you've got to have the system running. And when you stick a little sniffer that's drawing small samples of air into the radiator or the cooling fan pushing air, you can't get a good reading. And plus, they sometimes wave them around. They will make noise. This one didn't, of course. There it goes. Okay, so it's sensitive enough to know that it's got something going on. There's a reset. Okay, so it's a technique with these more than anything. You've got to reset it and play with it. 9 minutes remaining. Countdown. 5 minutes, 50 seconds.
If you want to put an aftermarket air conditioner on a Silver Cloud, would you go with the R12 system or R134 system?
He asked if you wanted to change or add a system. In other words, a complete new system. Most of the aftermarket systems now, in fact all of them, are designed for 134. So they'll be super efficient. The Freon won't be ungodly in price. And yeah, that's the way you would go.
But if you already have that one and it doesn't work, the R12, can you switch over to that?
You can switch over, but if you're using the existing system components, namely the condenser and the evaporator, then you will have that reduced performance. It won't work as well as it was. It'll still work, just not as well. If you look at the dial, it's at like 28 inches, and the gauges are not always super accurate. You have 4.4 minutes.
But when it's finished, then it will be accurate.
Well, it'll be close. Almost impossible to achieve 30 inches. It's almost, if we let it run for days, it might. Yes.
Freon is the only gas used in air conditioning units on a car, and there's just 2 types.
There's 3 types. There is a modern version that's out now that I don't use. It's super expensive, and it's 1234 YZX or something like that. Yeah, it's got a lot of numbers and letters, and that is super expensive. And you got to have your special machine to run that, which is, it's just I'm not going to run into that real soon. So there are 3 types. And this one is supposedly stopped. They were supposed to stop manufacturing it in '95, and I can call two suppliers today and get a can today if I want it. So I don't think that's old stock anymore. I think it's being produced still.
And the reason they changed it is because it's a better performance, or because it doesn't hit the environment as much?
It's the environment. That's why they changed it. Oh, here we go. So what we're going to do, we're almost done here. We're going to pause it. Okay, now it's time to put oil in it. So what I do to put oil in it is I'm going to shut these valves off, open this one. That's going to allow oil, and then I'll open, it says oil inject right here, so the system is under vacuum. It's going to suck the oil in. And you'll watch this thing going down over here. Should. I'm just going to put maybe a ½ ounce. It doesn't take much. So what we'll do now, oh, see, that's because I opened it. So we're going to go ahead and restart it. Oh, no. We'll go ahead and charge right now. How's that? I canceled it. 275, start. So Freon's going in now. If there's a big leak, you'll start seeing some gas coming out. already did. See, as you saw the pressure gauges, they both went up to right around 100 pounds. Close to it, it's still charging, 1.26.
You said we'll be able to see it come out, but we can't.
If there was a big leak, you would see stuff hissing and. But if there was a big leak, it wouldn't have had that low vacuum. It wouldn't have got that close to 30. So what I'm going to do now is I turn the valves to closed, so we're just reading pressure, and I'm going to start the car. Go ahead and turn that off because it's annoying. We'll kick up the choke so it's under a fast idle. So watch the gauges. This one should come down once it starts pumping. See that high side? We've got a problem. So I don't like that high side pressure. It's a little too high. Okay. The system, like I said, it has all these pressure changes. Anything that's high pressure is hot, and anything that's low pressure is cold. So I like to feel the components. I usually do it by hand, but I also have a thermometer. And if the component, it feels like the temperatures in and out are the same, then that's typically okay. Which reads out temperature without touching things. So I'll go ahead, the hoses, let's go ahead and just look at this hose right here. The low side coming back from there. It says it's 91, but there's no way. Let's go to this component. It says 65 degrees there. The high side, which would be this, way over here, is about 120, 118. The dryer, which sometimes they get plugged up. The dryer's out here, so it has two lines. I'm going to go one side of the dryer. Go 109. The other side's 111, so it's about the same. The lines going in and out of the condenser, you should see it drop actually. So we got 112 going in and 115 coming out. So I don't know about that. What usually causes high pressures is not enough air over the condenser. That's usually what causes it. So if you have a plug rate, dirt in the radiator or the evaporator, that'll cause it. If you have a fan clutch, the fan clutch is the coupling from the engine to the cooling fan, and if it's slipping too much, it's not pulling enough air. Okay, that's another cause.
The car is not moving.
Yeah. The car is not moving. Okay, so that is an issue, especially when you got a high ambient temperature and there's not enough air going over there. I can get a fan. I'm trying to find one. I can get a fan and I can drop that high side pressure. Okay, I can put a fan right out here and it'll lower it. Or watch this. Is it lowering the pressure?
Yep.
Yep. The high pressure went down, right? Because I'm cooling that condenser. So one thing also to think about is when you first charge, when this is putting Freon in the system, it's putting some really cold stuff in there. Okay, and all the components kind of ice up sometimes. So let's put let's raise the RPM. The low side's kind of high too. It should be down under 30. 30 is like 30 degrees at the vent. So what I'm going to do, if you overcharge the system, I'm going to pull some out. And it'll tell me how much I'm pulling out. So I'm going to start pulling some out on the high side. And I'm going to pull a half a pound out and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I pulled a half a pound out. The low side definitely down. And the high side is still a little high.
Does the R134 high side run higher than the
Usually
R12?
runs lower in my experience.
The R34 is lower.
In my experience, when they're working right, yeah. So what we'll do is, since sometimes things freeze up, I always like to turn the car off for a few minutes, let everything kind of stabilize, and then restart it and recheck the pressures. Because I've chased a lot of rabbit holes by panicking before I gave it time to do its job. So now what I'll do is I want to see if I can see any leaks right now.